I, Chair Chris Beyer, call the virtual Board of Boiler Rolls board meeting of March 2nd, 2021 to order at 9:30 a.m. Morning, everybody. Debbie, could you please call roll?
Yes, sir. Chair Chris Beyer.
Present.
Vice Chair Roger Hendrix.
Present.
Blake Alexander is excused from the meeting. Thomas Ingstrom. Thomas
Present.
Ingstrom.
Present.
Thank you. Ryan Garvey.
Present.
Patrick Lamb.
Present.
Greg Moyer.
Here.
Jeffrey Rodert.
Present.
Mr. Chair, we do have a quorum.
Thanks, Debbie. So on to the approval of the amended agenda and order of business. The packet includes the late submission document that you guys should have all seen. So if there's no further changes needed to the agenda, does anybody have any? Sorry. Hearing none, I, Chris Beyer, roll the amended agenda and order of business approved. Okay, the approval of the board draft meeting minutes from December 1st, 2020. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to the meeting minutes? Hearing none, I, Chair Chris Beyer, roll the draft minutes of December 1st, 2020 final. Okay, the date of our next scheduled meeting is going to be June 1st, 2021. Looks like we got some public comment to discuss. Tyler, would you please address the public comment item?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Tyler Glaze. I'm a policy analyst for the Building Codes Division. We have one item of public comment this morning from Catherine Van Natta from the NWPPA. And Mr. Chair, feel free to allot her as long as you like.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, how long did you want to allow Catherine to speak?
If she can get everything she wants to say done in 5 minutes, I'm good with that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I don't see that she's connected at this point.
Okay. Let's give her some time. We can come back to that. Let's go ahead and go into the boiler program update. If Mr. Tom's ready to give an update to the program.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, my name is Tom Clark. I'm the Chief Boiler Inspector with Building Codes Division. And for my program update today, nothing too exciting. Luckily, no accidents to report this time around. Very glad after the last few meetings where I did have a few to bring to your attention. You all should have seen the overdues report. That one is a little behind. The one that we shared is from November, though not surprisingly, numbers haven't really changed a whole lot since then. I've seen the February numbers. The state's still hovering at about 19% overdue, and the insurance industry is holding now at about 23%. They're around 21% in that November report. This is what we expected. The pandemic's still not over. We're still having trouble getting to some locations with social distancing and other safety requirements. It slows down our inspection times and progress. So this is to be expected, and we'll probably continue to see numbers hold around this area for the next few months until the vaccine starts to get more widespread and these precautions start being winded down and businesses become more available for inspection. Another update I'd like to share with you: the last time we met, I mentioned that we were in the process of recruiting a new inspector. That recruitment has been completed. We hired John Everett. He came to us from the North Clackamas County School District, where he maintained and repaired 30-some boilers for the school district. Prior to that, he had a background in HVAC. He's been a really great addition to the team. In fact, he'll be taking his National Board Commission exam tomorrow. I'll be proctoring that with him. So hopefully within the next week or two, he will be out and operating on his own. So again, once we're able to meet in person, I'd love to introduce you to our new team members, but I'm not sure when that'll happen. And the last update I have for you is we brought one new team member on and we said goodbye to another. Britt Hill, our inspector for the southern area, retired at the end of December, and he moved on to a new home out of state. We're sorry to see him go. We're doing a little shuffling. An inspector that some of you should be very familiar with, Kevin Perdue, former chief for the state, had kindly volunteered to move down south and take over Britt's position. But that still left us an opening up here in the north in Kevin's area. So we're in progress with that recruitment. We should be conducting interviews here in the next few weeks. And hopefully next time we meet, I'll be able to introduce you to another addition to our team. And we're really looking forward to it. I think that's all I have. Unless there are any questions, Mr. Chair, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, Tom. Hey, I just realized I kind of made a mistake. I'm not really sure. It's kind of an announcement, Debbie and Tyler, if I can get some guidance. Roger Hendrix wanted to just share with everybody some new guidance around pressure testing requirements. If he could just make an announcement. It's not really something we need to discuss. He just wanted people aware. Can we just add that in, or do we have to revise the agenda?
Mr. Chair, if I may, this is Tyler Glaze, policy analyst for the division. As long as the board isn't voting on anything, I believe Mr. Hendrix can speak freely.
Thanks, Tyler. Roger, would you go ahead and speak to this, please?
Thank you, Chris. This is Roger Hendrix, and through the chair, I just wanted to make the division and the state aware that there's a new ANSI/ASSP standard that came out. These standards are guidelines, they're not requirements. And this standard is A10.35, and it's the safety requirements for pressure testing steel and copper piping systems. So it's only for steel and copper. And they have some, the big thing with this standard is they have some minimum safe distance guidelines. And these guidelines come from, it's kind of a little rabbit hole, but if you go to ASME B31.3 and you look at the Appendix F precautionary considerations, in those considerations, it states that these are not code requirements, but should be taken into account. And then from there, it jumps down into pneumatic testing, where it points you to ASME PCC-2, and that's where the engineering calculations come from. And these safe distances are based on, for pneumatic testing, only for volume of piping and the pressure that you're testing at. And what it does is it gives you a recommended safe distance that people that are not immediately involved with the test should consider. So just wanted to bring it to the attention of the BCD and the state. And if anybody has any questions, I'm certainly happy to discuss it at a later time. But I wanted to get it out there because the standard was just officially released in December of 2020. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thanks, Roger. Okay, real quick before I go too far, did Miss Veneta sign on yet, Debbie?
No, Mr. Chair, I did send her a message, though.
Okay, I'll check in a little bit. Okay, moving on, doesn't appear we have any communications or appeals or unfinished business. On to new business. We have to discuss the selection of the committee for review of 2021 Oregon boiler pressure vessel specialty codes. So that's the late submission in our packet. So basically, division opened it up for solicitation and only received 2 volunteers for the committee. So I filled in a couple additional members for you guys to discuss and listed in the packet. So I'm open to either accepting it or recommending different members or add some or delete some, whatever you guys want to do. If you have any discussions about this. Okay, if there's no discussions, we'll need a motion to either approve my recommendation for the committee or a motion to amend it. Anybody?
Mr. Chair, this is Roger Hendrix. I'll move to approve the committee as listed.
Thank you, Roger. Having a motion, Debbie, would you please take a roll call vote?
Yes, sir. Thomas Ingstrom,
Yes.
Brian Garvey,
Yes.
Patrick Lamb,
Yes.
Greg Moyer,
Yes.
Jeffrey Rodert, Jeffrey,
That's a yes.
thank you. Vice Chair Roger Hendricks
Yes.
and Chair Chris Fire.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, the motion passes.
Thanks. Okay. Okay, moving on to the next order of new business. Continuing education recommendations. Tyler, would you please talk about this?
Thank you again, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Tyler Glaze, policy analyst for the division. For this round of continuing education applications, we had 5 total applications from 2 different organizations. 1 course was recommended for approval, 2 instructors were recommended for approval, and 2 instructors were recommended for denial. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Otherwise, this will require a motion, Mr. Chair.
Does anybody have any questions for Tyler? Hearing none, can we get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Thank you, Tom. Debbie, will you go ahead and take roll vote?
Yes, sir. Thomas Ingstrom, Tom,
Yes.
Brian Garvey,
Yes.
Patrick Lamb,
Yes.
Greg Moyer,
Yes.
Jeffrey Rodert,
Yes.
Roger Hendrix, Mr. Vice Chair, and Chair Chris Beyer.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, the motion passes.
Okay, thank you. We have no announcements, so I'm gonna give Catherine another chance. Did she show up?
Mr. Chair, I did send her a second message, and I have not heard from her yet.
Okay. Any recommendations? I didn't expect the meeting to go this fast. Man.
Mr. Chair, this is Tyler Glaze, policy analyst for the division. If I may, she can always comment in the next meeting if she wishes to.
Thanks, Tyler. I think that's the appropriate thing to do. I don't want to hold everybody up and wait. So, there being no further business, the meeting is adjourned at 9:46 a.m. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.